Just with you a very practical example. Vera and I are going to Harding University. Okay, it's a seminary in just north of Little Rock in Arkansas. And we were there basically as missionaries. And so we were receiving the gracious, kind support of other people. And, that's how we ate. That's how we were housed and so on. Well, one day, I called it Black Tuesday on that particular day, we received a letter from two different supporters of ours that cut out a substantial portion of our support, financial support. One day, gone. Gone like that. Do I lose my content? Am I no longer contented? My world is really in trouble here. Should I start running around trying to get money to take care of that? No, I can remember distinctly just praying about it. And Vera remembers that I'm sure that we just prayed about it. We didn't worry about it. We were content with what we had, little or enough. By the end of that week, we had all that support replaced and then some, and never asked anybody for it. Contentment with what we have. Man, I heard that in Jeff's message. It's good that you're here. You came last year and you shared that whole message and you're walking in contentment in this individual self-sufficiency, depending upon God to supply your every need. What a great story. They're right here with us. Living examples of walking on faith in that regard. It's all about faith, this contentment thing. Paul trusted God would infuse him with the power to meet any demand or need he has in his life. That's what it's about. That's what contentment is about, that Paul's talking about here. Trusting no matter what, God's in control. He's your father. He's your daddy. No matter what's happening in your life, he's in control. The second thing, secret to contentment, is being satisfied with what you got. Are you happy with what you got? And that's amazing how many people, we're trained to be discontent in this world, that we need more and more stuff. We need more and more materials. We're trained that way. Whether it's our circumstances or our material things. I saw something on TV the other day. It was really interesting that due to this recession we've been in for the last, couple of years or whatever, people have changed their saving habits. That they're beginning to save more money and spend less. Do you realize that's a problem? Right? That's a problem. If people aren't spending money, it doesn't churn the machinery of our world. That's not a good thing. Really.
Hey, that's a great thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing, yeah. It's a great thing when we're godly stewards of the monies that God gives us so we can spend it in his way. But are you content? Are you able to count the many blessings that you have? Here's a neat one. Are you able to be joyful at another person's prosperity? Someone has said this before. You'll never be a joyful people. You'll never be a content people until you're a grateful people. We must be grateful for what we have. For what we have. Do we just have to have that newer car, that newer house, or those latest clothes, or latest phone gadgetries? Let me share a story with you about J.D. Rockefeller. I don't know if you've ever heard this story about John D. Rockefeller, but he was America's first billionaire with a B. He was a strong and husky young man, but when he was a little guy, in his early life, he determined to earn money, and he drove himself to the limit. At age 33, he earned his first $1 million. And at age 43, he controlled the biggest company in the world. At age 53, he was the richest man on earth and the world's only billionaire. Then he developed a sickness called alopecia, where the hair of his head fell out. His eyelashes, his eyebrows disappeared, and he was shrunken like a mummy. His weekly income was $1 million, but he digested only milk and crackers. He was so hated in Pennsylvania that he had to have bodyguards day and night. He could not sleep. He stopped smiling a long time ago. and he stopped enjoying life. The doctors predicted he would not even live 1 year. The newspaper had gleefully written his obituary in advance for convenience in sudden use. Phew, that's some serious hate, you know? Those sleepless nights set him to thinking. He realized with a new light that he could not take one dime into the next world. Money was not everything. The next morning found him a brand new man. He began to help churches with his amassed wealth. He began to help the poor and the needy. He established the Rockefeller Foundation, whose funding of medical researches led to the discovery of penicillin and many other drugs. John D. began to sleep at nights and enjoy life. Doctors figured he'd die at no later than age 54. He lived to be 98. See, be happy with what you got. You know? It's amazing. I've heard people say, did you see a preacher driving a Cadillac? Can you believe a preacher drive a Cadillac? Must not be something right with that preacher. And then they also talked about me. You see that preacher driving that broke down pickup truck? That congregation, they must be sorry. They can't afford to pay that preacher a good vehicle to drive in. Amy Jo loved that. I had this old beat up blue pickup truck, and in the wintertime, I piled snow in the back of it. And I didn't just pile it on. I piled it about 4 feet over the top of the cab, you know. And I drove Amy to school every day, and she's all shrunk down in the seat, you know, and dropped me off about a block away from school, Dad. But I have learned the secret of content. You know, not a whole lot of things I got hammered down, but I got this one hammered down. I do know the secret that Paul's talking about. I mean, we've stayed at fancy motels, and I've slept out in a place where you go potty in a hole, you know, on the ground. I'm happy with either place. I am. I'm secret because I'm thankful for what I got. I am. You know, and so if you're a spirit of discontent because you don't think you got some material thing you ought to have, think again and think what you got. That age-old hymn, used to sing it years ago, count your many blessings, name them one by one. You know, and just sit down and be thankful for what it is that you have, what God has given you. And then the other secret to contentment is, and I just want to share a couple Bible verses with you, is to realize life is temporary. My father-in-law, I love what he used to say. I mean, you've heard it 100 times, but you and I, we really don't apply it to this secret. And the old saying is this: 100 years from now, what will it matter? Oh yeah, that's cool. No, I mean, really think about it. Well, most people don't want to because they don't want to think about their own mortality. That's the first thing, right? They want to think about the fact I'm going to die. You know? But you think about it in relation to your discontent right now that this world, guys, I'm only on point 3. I got 3 more points to go. Did you see me move the thing? I'm sorry. No, come on up. I'm just teasing you. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. It's too hot in here. They're like, man, we need to play this song. Get out of here. That's right. You don't want to spend it in the sermon, do you? I love my brother-in-law. He had cancer. We were bringing him back from North Carolina 11 years ago. What a great sense of humor this guy had and a great faith he had in the Lord. And it was icy out, you know, and my mother-in-law was making me drive real slow. Remember this, Ma? Slow down, slow down. And we stopped at a rest area, and Randy, he said, man, I know I'm going to die, but I don't want to die out here on this expressway. Let's get going, you know. And life is temporary, you know. And the more we realize that, the more we'll let go of stuff and not get so bent out of shape about different things that are going on. Oh, man, teenagers, you're not hearing me because I'm preaching, right? I just wish you could get the message I'm saying. Because all of the stuff that, not all of it, but a lot of stuff that you think is so absolutely important and has got you just so bent out of shape, it really, when you get to be old like me, you realize, you know what? You wasted a whole bunch of time and peace. So anyhow, you got to know life is temporary and really come to a great